Alright, so I got these two panels I want to hang, and I want to hang them above the mixing area where it's going to be at, and that's going to be on the ceiling. I want to be able to clear that light. Alright, as far as this other stuff, I got videos on how I made those. I will put links at the end of the video. But I need to hang these, and I want them to be centered. Alright, my mixing desk is going to be centered, my speakers and everything's going to be good to go. But I need to know, first you need to find the center of your room. In this situation, I found the center of my room. Alright, I took that, divided it by 2 to find half of my room. I then measured using that figure from there to there, and I basically put an X. You probably can't see it, but there's an X right there in the ceiling. And that is the center of the ceiling. Now I measured from that wall, from the top of the wall there to there with that half figure measurement, because over here I have this little thing. I could have subtracted that or whatever, but whatever. So I know the center of my room. Now that I know the center of my room, there's still some other measurements that you need to take into consideration. I actually grabbed a panel, walked it over here, alright, and set it up and positioned it up here where I needed to go to see where I would clear this light. And I made a mark on the ceiling, right there, where it will be to clear the light. Okay? Okay, so now that I know the halfway point of the room, I know how far I need to be to clear the light, well now I need to know where I'm going to drill, alright? And here's how you figure that out. Well, there's my halfway mark. Halfway between my panel, these are 47-inch panels, okay? So, but I'm not worried about how long the panel is, I'm worried about this eye hole here, okay? From the center of this eye hole to the center of the other one is 46.5 inches. I divide that in 2, and from that center mark on the ceiling, I have to go whatever 46.5 divided by 2 is. That's how far over from the center mark I need to go. So let's say this is the center of my ceiling. Half of 46.5 would take me to this eyelet right here. And that is how far over I need to go from the center mark for my hole. So I got my left to right from my center already adjusted, and I know what I need to do. Now, from the edge of this corner to the center of this eyelet is 8 1/4. So remember that mark that I made for the clearance of the light? I put a mark on the ceiling to mark the clearance. Basically where the face of this is going to chill away from the light. It's going to be about that far away from the light. Pretty far. I usually don't have those lights on when I'm in here. There's a switch over there to turn those off. Of course. Why wouldn't there be a fucking switch to turn lights off, right? Okay, anyway. So, 8 1/4. I need to measure from my mark that I made on the ceiling out in 8 1/4, but also half the distance between here and the center of this. Basically, the half distance there. So there's a lot of measurements that you got to make if you want to get this right. Alright, you got to take a lot of things into consideration. But I know exactly where I'm going to drill. It's right there. Which is 8 1/4 inches from that mark. And then this mark is a certain distance from this, which I also took into consideration to make my measurements. Instead of measuring from this wall over there, I subtracted this. So using all kinds of fucking alien algorithms, I came up to the conclusion that's where the fuck I need to drill. Alright? That's in this situation. Now, the most important part is, how the fuck am I going to connect this thing to the ceiling? And that's what's going to be coming up next. Alright, so if you get lucky enough to hit a piece of wood above you, such as a rafter, floorboard, or depending on what floor you're on, you can always use this. Now, you're probably going to be unlucky. I would call it unlucky. You're just probably going to have to use a toggle bolt. What is a toggle bolt? Alright, first off, this is a hook. Alright? When you buy these toggle bolts, this is 3/16 inch. That's how the diameter of the bolt is, okay? So they come with bolts. However, I need a hook, right, to hook into my eyelets on my panels. So I went and I got 3/16 inch hooks, alright? And there they are. And these will thread, because there are threads. This is the toggle portion. I'll show you how that works for all you don't know in a second. There's actually threads in there. And there's a portion in there that allows me to thread into, alright? They're spring loaded. Slide that on there, alright? And here's how this works. It tells you on the side how big to drill the hole. And it says 5/8 of an inch, alright? So I've taken my high-tech drill bit here that was forged by aliens on another planet, and I drilled a hole, alright? This is my test wood. You always want to have test wood, alright? When you're doing stuff like this. So there it is. There's my hole I drilled, 5/8. How this works is, you're going to put it through, And as you go to put it in, it's going to flange out like that. And then when the hook's pulled, it is holding on inside of your ceiling like that. So, there's a couple things you need to know about this. First off, the weight you intend to hold. Depending on the thickness of your drywall is going to depend on how much weight you can hold, alright? I don't know the figures. However, I just know my panel weighs like 5 or 6 pounds. It's really light. However, if you're hanging like fucking bowling balls for I don't know what reason, whatever you might be hanging that's heavy from the ceiling, you might want to consider, because also this toggle bolt could probably hold maybe 50 pounds. You know, it's kind of thin metal. I don't know, I haven't tested it. I'm not going to. But it's good enough for what I'm going to use it for. So, but the thing is, you need to make sure your drywall. Here's another pitfall you might run into. Okay, let me show you that one. Let's say my drywall is going to be thick. Okay, so I know already that I'm not going to be able to use this until I modify it. I'm going to modify this. All right, because if this is too far screwed in like this, right? Here's your pitfall. You're going to go to put it in. Oh shit, I can't expand my hooks. Because guess what? This has not cleared the thickness of your ceiling, so it's not going to pop out. So you're screwed, right? Kind of. Maybe. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to unscrew this all the way. If you unscrew this too far, alright, to where it's not hitting the edges right there, because you can screw it down about right there, alright, but now you see how it wiggles? Alright, it's still screwed in, but it wiggles, alright? If you do this, and you went up too high, you're going to screw yourself once it gets in your ceiling. You won't really be screwed because you can always unscrew it, but you won't be able to get your toggle back. So if I go like this, you see how I just did? Now, okay, I might get another chance. However, you might get screwed and it'll be stuck like this. Well, look at that. I got lucky, right? However, you can get it stuck like this a certain way and you won't be able to straighten it out like this. All right? If you can, well, I guess you got lucky. You can try it. I'm just saying what I'm trying to tell you here is you need to ensure that you're in just far enough to where it will not teeter-totter, all right? It won't do this number. It won't do this shit, all right? Because it's high enough in there to prevent that. It's the 3/16 edge is sticking out right there, so I can't do that, all right? I am going to have to actually use my bolt cutters, and I'm going to cut just a little bit of it off so I can clear, because I know I'm not going to clear, all right? This is the hook I wanted to use, but I knew instantly, once I tried it out, because I'm in the store opening packages because I'm a fucking psycho, all right? Motherfuckers that work there looking at me like, who the fuck does this guy think he is? But I'm like, back up, bitch. Yeah, that's right. You better Google me, right? So, plus they see my hat. It says Dozer on it. So they know not to fuck with me. No, whatever. Anyway, so, because I'm a douche, I like to wear my nickname on my hat. Anyway, so I'm going to cut that bitch off. And I'm still going to have a fucking hook, right? That's going to allow me to do it. So, some of you who know about this shit, you're like, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Just fucking get to doing it. But look, not everybody is as smart as your ass. So, for all the people who are like, don't know what the fuck they're doing, it's stuff like this that people say I talk a lot. But come on, man. So, not everybody's smart like you, okay? They can't all be fucking scientists like us, alright? Some people are a little slower. Maybe they haven't never experienced this kind of shit, you know? So, that's where I come in. Alright, so I've drilled my 2 holes for my first panel. Alright, 5/8 inch hole for my toggle bolt that's going to go in there. And the sealing is easier because you just throw your toggle bolt up in there with your hook and then you just hook your other thing on. And if you want to get more distance and length, when I'm doing my measurements, I'm going to use chains, and I might change the length as I'm doing my measurements while I'm doing a real-time analysis to get different lengths to see where I need to have it to have the best response and stuff like that. You know, audio, acoustic shit. Anyway, now, here's the thing. Safety. Dude, trust me. You want to wear safety glasses anytime you're drilling into a ceiling. If you don't wear safety glasses, you will get shit in your fucking eye. No doubt. There's no way around it. Unless you're a fucking like alligator or some kind of fucking, you know how I like to talk about aliens and shit, right? Well, maybe you don't, but now you do. Okay. If you have fucking eyelids, some kind of see-through eyelids, you might be safe, but you need to wear safety glasses. Okay, anyway. So now I'm going to put my fucking toggle bolt in that hole, inside that hole, and then we'll take a video of that, because, you know, video is awesome. Alright, so guess what? I got lucky. I didn't have to modify this. It's actually like Where the fuck is it? It's only like a 1/2 inch. All right, I got my other one in over there, so you can actually watch me do it. So here it is. Put it up through the hole. Grab my thing. It just did it. Now how you do this is you pull down a little bit and you kind of just turn it. Make sure you turn it the right way, because you can't get your toggle back. It'll be stuck up there. So here I am. I'm getting enough to where I could just get my eyelet through here. All right. Now you don't have to worry about this ever coming out, because unless, well, there's no way. I mean, how is your panel going to turn around? You know what I mean? So I got enough. I got enough thread all the way through there. It's sticking out the other end. I already know it is. And I could probably hang a 25-pound weight from this, but I'm not going to. All right. What the fuck is this, dude? Oh my God, what is this? All right. So before I actually hang my panel, I'm gonna clean all the lint off of it, but I didn't buy a lint roller when I was at the store, so I'm gonna make my own. You take some tape, you take a toilet paper roll, you stick it on there like that, and you basically roll it around on itself. If I can do this shit with one hand, can I? Once you roll it back around on itself, and then you cut it. And then I'm going to roll this all over my panel, and I basically have some sticky things, so I need to clean up my panels before I hang them. I'm going to do that now. Alright, so there she is. Alright. She is hung up, equal distance on both sides, hanging down. I believe it's like 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches from the ceiling. I can adjust that with these. As I do my measurements, I'm going to be able to adjust it with my chains here. Alright. So the chains are going to make it look even cooler, right? Because those are real platinum chains, dog. Okay, so I'm just going to hang up the other one, and then I'll shoot back a video of that. I just got to drill my other holes. I still need to make my measurements. Drill my other holes, hang my other one, and we're good to go on that. Alright, so there's both my panels hung up on the ceiling. Good to go.